Chosen one, this moment is not an accident. The scrolling stops here because heaven has interrupted your timeline. The air feels different right now. You can sense it deep inside. Something divine is reaching for you through this very message, whispering your true name. You have felt it before, the pull in your spirit, the strange knowing that you were born for something greater than this world ever told you. That stirring in your soul is not confusion, it is your awakening. You are not here by coincidence. You are here because the heavens have aligned to reveal what has been hidden. They hid the truth about who you are, about what you carry, and tonight, the veil begins to lift. For years, you've wondered why your path has felt different, why the people around you could move on easily while you wrestled in silence. It's because you were never meant to blend in. You are light placed in the midst of shadow. You are marked. The darkness recognized you before you recognized yourself. That's why life tried to break you before you understood your power. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every moment of silence when no one believed in you. These were not punishments. They were signals of your divine identity. Heaven trusted you with pain because pain refines the chosen. Listen carefully now. This is not just another message. The spiritual atmosphere has shifted. The same hand that formed galaxies is now reaching toward you, calling you by name. You have been asleep, but heaven decrees tonight awaken. The world tried to label you by your past, but God calls you by your destiny. You have felt out of place among ordinary people because your spirit does not belong to the ordinary. You carry the frequency of eternity. When you walk into a room, darkness senses you before you even speak. That's why you felt resistance, because you are light invading territory that was never meant to hold you down. The truth they hid from you is that you were chosen long before you were born. Before time began, a covenant was written with your name on it. Heaven saw this exact night. The same divine plan that orchestrated your birth has also preserved your survival through every storm. Every attack that tried to end you was permission for heaven to reveal your strength. And now, heaven speaks. The time of hiding is over. Your spiritual DNA is being activated. This awakening is not about religion, it's about remembrance. You are remembering who you truly are, a warrior of light, a vessel of glory, a chosen one marked for impact. You are not powerless, you are an instrument of divine will. You feel it even now, the weight lifting, the fire stirring, the ancient promise echoing in your bones. You are stepping out of survival mode and into assignment. This message is not reaching you by algorithm, it's reaching you by prophecy. Heaven has paused everything to say, rise. And as the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, for the vision awaits appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not lie. Wait, it will come. That's why you couldn't give up when everything told you to quit. That's why you are still breathing after every storm. The revelation of who you are had to reach its appointed time, and that time is now. You will no longer question your worth. You will no longer apologize for your light. Every scar, every silent night, every moment of being misunderstood has been your training ground. The pain was prophecy in disguise. You were being refined for a purpose greater than the one the world tried to hand you. So now, step forward, stand tall, lift your head. Chosen one, because heaven is calling your name. You are entering the season where everything hidden becomes revealed. The spiritual fog that clouded your identity is lifting. Your heart will no longer bow to fear, for you have been anointed to carry revelation into the world. The call is clear, let your light break forth. Don't hide it anymore. Don't shrink back to make others comfortable. Your life is divine evidence that light still wins. You are the fulfillment of promises whispered through generations. And tonight, heaven declares that the waiting is over. If this word burns inside your spirit, if something in you knows this is not random, then respond as an act of faith. Like this message, share it with another soul who needs to awaken, and comment 111 below as a prophetic sign that you have heard heaven's call and chosen to rise. Subscribe to stay aligned with the messages meant for the chosen, because this journey has just begun, and what's coming next will shake the very foundations of your world. The night of your awakening has come. You are the proof that divine purpose cannot be silenced. You wake into a silence that feels heavier than usual. It is not the absence of sound, it is the weight of truth pressing against the walls of your spirit. The night after awakening feels different. You sense something ancient unfolding, as though a curtain between worlds has been drawn back just enough for you to glimpse what has always been waiting. You feel the pulse of eternity running through your veins, a reminder that you were chosen not yesterday, but from before the beginning. This is the hour of remembrance. The world has taught you to forget who you are, to live as though you are small, fragile, and disposable. But heaven never agreed to that lie. Somewhere deep within, there has always been a covenant, a divine signature written across your soul, long before your first breath, before your tears, before your name was ever spoken on earth. Heaven wrote it in fire upon the scrolls of eternity. You are chosen. You wonder now how much has been hidden. Why were you made to doubt? Why did they keep you from knowing the full truth of your identity? Because if you ever realized what you carry, you would become unstoppable. The systems of the world were never built for the awakening of the chosen. They were built to contain them. The moment a chosen one remembers the covenant, control begins to crumble. You feel flashes of memory, not of this life, but of purpose. The patterns of your suffering, the faces that came and went, the betrayals that broke you, they all make sense now. Each was a mirror showing you fragments of what you were meant to remember. Pain was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to uncover you. Every time you were abandoned, something divine drew closer. Every time you lost, you were actually being redirected back to the truth that was stolen from you. This truth is not new. It is older than language, older than nations, older than time itself. It is the truth of a covenant that can never be erased. You and heaven are bound, not by religion, not by ritual, but by purpose. The covenant says that your life will carry divine light into dark places, that your voice will echo the same creative force that spoke the universe into being. It is written into your spirit that nothing formed against you shall prosper, not because you are untouchable, but because your existence fulfills prophecy. The forgotten covenant has been whispering to you all along in your intuition, in your dreams, in the sudden moments of peace you could never explain. The world taught you to call it coincidence, but heaven calls it confirmation. Every time your heart felt something greater moving around you, that was the covenant calling you back. Tonight, you are remembering that covenant. You are realizing that you were never alone. You were never abandoned. Even when the night was long and the silence deep, there were always unseen hands guarding you, invisible walls holding back destruction, and divine voices interceding on your behalf. Heaven watched you stumble through the wilderness, waiting for the exact moment your spirit would cry out, "I remember." That cry awakens everything that has been waiting in the shadows of your destiny. Now you begin to understand the ancient mystery. The chosen are not selected because they are perfect, but because they are willing. You have walked through storms that others couldn't survive because you carry an endurance that was built in eternity. That endurance is proof of covenant blood flowing through you. It's why you keep standing, even when you have every reason to fall. It's why your heart, though cracked and bruised, still believes. Heaven speaks through the words in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 9. Know that the Lord your God is God, the faithful one, keeping his covenant of love for generations. Those words are not distant history. They are a living promise, your promise. You are the continuation of that covenant of love. The same God who walked with Moses, who strengthened David, who comforted Elijah, now walks with you. You are part of the unbroken line of the faithful, and even when you doubted, heaven never did. Your awakening is not just for yourself, it is the reactivation of a divine contract that affects every life you will touch. When you speak light, generations shift. When you stand in faith, invisible chains shatter. You are not merely existing, you are fulfilling an ancient oath. The forgotten covenant is alive again through you, and its power moves with every breath you take. So let this truth settle deep within your bones. You were never forsaken. You were hidden until this exact moment, for such a time as this. And now that you remember, nothing can erase it again. The covenant lives, and you walk as its living proof, unshaken, unstoppable, chosen. You've felt it for years, the strange dissonance between you and the world around you. No matter how much you tried to blend in, there was always a quiet distance between your soul and the noise of ordinary life. You are not broken for feeling that way. You are marked. You are carrying a frequency that the world cannot interpret, and that dissonance is proof that you are walking under a different light. They called you too emotional, too intense, too different. But that difference is your evidence. The spiritual realm recognizes you as a bearer of light, which means darkness notices you too. Every time you tried to belong, something inside resisted. It wasn't rebellion, it was alignment. Heaven never intended you to shrink into the molds others offered. You were born to stand out, to disrupt, to awaken. Every rejection you faced, every room that grew cold when you entered, every friend who drifted away, none of it was punishment. It was divine protection. God was never removing people to hurt you. He was clearing space so you could breathe freely in your calling. There are seasons when heaven isolates before it elevates. The silence you felt wasn't emptiness, it was a sacred classroom. You have been misunderstood not because you are wrong, but because you are early. The chosen often live ahead of their time. You see things others can't see yet. You sense shifts before they arrive. And that sensitivity, the one that made you feel strange, is a divine gift. You are tuned to the frequency of destiny. The world has names for people like you, too sensitive, too deep, too serious. But heaven has another name, chosen. You are an echo of divine intelligence moving through human skin. Your heart feels heavier because it carries more. Your eyes notice what others overlook. That's not a flaw, it's proof of calling. You were designed to disrupt cycles, to stand in the gap between what is and what should be. That's why you faced spiritual warfare since you were young. The enemy saw your potential before you even knew it existed. Every strange attack, every season of loneliness, every mental storm, they were all signs that your light terrified darkness. And yet, you are still here, still standing, still breathing, still believing, even when you didn't understand why the world resisted you. That resilience is divine armor. You were never supposed to be like everyone else because sameness would have suffocated your spirit. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Those words are a mirror, chosen one. They tell you what your life has been whispering all along. You were known before you existed. You were appointed before you were named. Every time you asked, "Why me?" heaven answered, "Because you are mine." When you walk into certain places and feel heaviness you can't explain, that's not imagination. It's sensitivity to the spiritual climate. You are meant to shift atmospheres. You are the kind of person who enters a room and unconsciously confronts hidden darkness. That is why people either love you deeply or can't stand to be near you. The light in you demands decision. So don't curse the isolation. Don't despise the difference. It is your seal, your evidence, your birthmark of purpose. Every tear you've shed for being misunderstood has been gathered by heaven as holy currency. They will return as wisdom, as favor, as discernment. The very things that made you feel unworthy will become the tools of your influence. The time for hiding is over. Stop explaining your calling to those committed to misunderstanding it. Stop apologizing for your fire. You are not meant to dim your light for anyone. You are meant to blaze trails through darkness. You were not created to be accepted, you were created to be effective. If you feel the truth of this burning in your spirit, declare it aloud. Comment, "I stand apart." Let those words be more than text. Let them be an act of surrender. When you type them, you are aligning your heart with heaven's decree, and when you are saying, "I no longer chase validation, I choose revelation," you are stepping out of imitation and into identity. Because the moment you embrace your divine difference, the world will begin to see what heaven already knew. You will draw those who were meant to walk beside you, and your light will repel what was never meant to stay. You are the living evidence that the mark of the misfit is not a curse, it is a crown. So walk tall, speak boldly, carry your fire unashamed. You were not born to fit in. You were born to stand out for heaven's glory. And now that you know who you are, nothing in this world can make you forget it again. There is a stirring in the unseen, a vibration that trembles beneath the thin veil separating the visible from the invisible. You feel it like static in your soul, something moving, something watching. The battle in the shadows is real, and you have walked through it without fully realizing it. Every sudden wave of heaviness that pressed on your chest, every unexplainable fatigue right before a breakthrough, every whisper of self-doubt that echoed louder in moments of clarity, these were not random. They were spiritual attacks meant to cloud your light before it could rise. The war around you isn't fought with swords or guns. It is a war of influence, of whispers, of distraction. Darkness rarely announces itself with horns and flames. It slips in quietly, disguising itself as logic, fatigue, comparison, and fear. It studies your patterns, your weaknesses, your soft spots, and it waits for moments of vulnerability. But what the enemy often forgets is that you are not fighting alone. You carry the breath of the Almighty inside you. The same power that raised the dead and split seas now breathes through your lungs. You've noticed the timing, haven't you? Every time you're about to step into a new chapter, something heavy tries to pull you backward. It isn't coincidence, it's counterattack. The closer a chosen one comes to clarity, the louder the shadows grow. But there's something they can't replicate: your faith. Even when shaken, it anchors you to light. Even when confused, your spirit remembers who it belongs to. There are realms at war for your attention. Heaven calls through conviction while darkness calls through distraction. One voice pulls you upward, the other pulls you inward toward fear. You've heard both, and you know the difference by how they make you feel. One voice brings peace even in correction. The other brings panic even in comfort. Learning that difference is part of your training as a warrior of light. When you feel the spiritual fog descending, Remember, not every thought is your own. Some ideas are arrows launched to pierce your focus. Some emotions are crafted traps meant to make you forget your strength. The enemy cannot destroy the chosen, so it tries to deceive them into surrender. The goal is not your destruction, it's your distraction. But you are awakening, and awareness itself is victory. There will be moments when the night feels endless, when your prayers feel like echoes returning unanswered. Yet even then, light is not absent. It is waiting, concealed within your endurance. Your faith in those silent nights is a weapon more powerful than any roar. The unseen realm responds to persistence. When you refuse to break, the darkness begins to tremble. The book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, declares, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." This verse unmasks what many never see. Your battles are not against people, but against patterns. Not against faces, but against forces. When you argue with people, you're fighting shadows of the true conflict. When you forgive and stand in love, you break the spell of hatred that darkness tries to cast. Love is not weakness, it is a weapon. Forgiveness disarms the unseen enemy faster than vengeance ever could. So when the heaviness comes, when your energy drains without reason, when confusion fogs your mind, pause. Don't panic. Breathe deeply. Speak light. Remind the atmosphere of who you are and whom you belong to. The same power that spoke creation into being is still available to you. You don't need to fight louder, you need to stand firmer. You are not being punished, you are being positioned. Every battle reveals another layer of strength within you. What you call struggle, heaven calls strategy. You are being trained for clarity, endurance, and authority. The more the darkness presses, the brighter your response becomes. Your tears are not wasted, they are oil for your anointing. Your silence in pain is not ignored, it's recorded as endurance. Every time you choose peace over panic, you disarm another weapon forged against you. Every time you choose faith when doubt makes more sense, heaven moves in your favor. You are not fighting to win, you are fighting from victory. The outcome was sealed long before the battle began. What remains is your awareness. The enemy's greatest illusion is to convince you that you're losing. So tonight, as the unseen war hums around you, do not fear the shadows. You were never meant to hide from them. You were meant to walk through them carrying light. Your presence alone unsettles the plans of darkness because light cannot be contained where it is willing to shine. You are not just surviving this war, you are shifting it. Every breath you take in faith sends ripples through the unseen. You are not a victim of the shadows. You are their undoing. The night grows quiet again, but this silence feels different, softer, almost sacred. You realize that in every storm you have endured, there was always a pause afterward. That pause wasn't emptiness, it was God catching his breath with you. The noise fades so that you can hear what truly matters, the whisper, for it's in stillness, not chaos, that the divine voice speaks the loudest. You've been running, surviving, pushing forward for so long that stillness now feels foreign. Yet this is where your spirit begins to heal. Heaven has not forgotten you. The same hand that guided you through the battlefield is now touching your heart gently, saying, "Rest, my chosen one." You are not forgotten. You are being found again in peace. When everything feels uncertain, when the world feels like a storm and your thoughts are the waves, pause and listen. The whisper of God often hides in the spaces between your worries. You've looked for him in thunder and lightning, but he often arrives as breath in the story of your life. He has always been the quiet constant, speaking softly even when your heart was too loud to hear. The voice in the silence does not accuse, it reassures. It does not condemn, it restores. When the noise of fear says you're not enough, that quiet inner voice answers, you were chosen long before your mistakes. It's the sound of mercy wrapping itself around your weary heart. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 46, verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. That stillness isn't passive, it's power in disguise. When you stop striving, you make room for the divine to move. When you stop trying to fix everything, heaven begins to orchestrate what your hands cannot. You've tried to control outcomes that were never yours to hold. The silence is God saying, let go, let me. You may feel like your prayers have floated unanswered into the sky, but heaven hears the sound of faith even when it's only a whisper. Sometimes your whisper shakes realms more than your shouting ever could. Faith is not always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet decision to believe again after being broken. The divine voice in the silence speaks to you now. You are still here for a reason. The fact that you're listening means the storm didn't win. It tried to, but it couldn't. That's the proof of your calling resilience stronger than chaos. And because your story carries weight, every act of sharing it becomes light for another lost traveler. Think of your words, your actions, your compassion as torches handed down the mountain path. Someone walking behind you may be stumbling in darkness, and the flame you hold could guide them home. So when you like this message, it's not vanity, it's vibration. It's saying, this truth resonates with me, When you share it, you're extending the light to someone who might be on the verge of giving up. And if you feel led to subscribe, you're choosing to stay close to the stream where these divine reminders flow. Even your support, your willingness to donate is a prophetic act. It's not about transaction, it's participation. When you give to sustain light, you become part of its expansion. You're helping this fire reach hearts that have forgotten what warmth feels like. It's planting a seed of hope that will return to you multiplied in peace. Think of it like tending a lantern in a dark valley. Every drop of oil you offer keeps the flame alive for countless souls. You are not giving to a person, you are sowing into purpose. You're joining the unseen army of those who refuse to let darkness win. Every heart that awakens because of your light becomes another star in heaven's tapestry. The voice in the silence asks you to trust again, not in systems, not in people, but in divine timing. The delay is not denial. It's design. Every unanswered prayer is being rearranged behind the scenes until the answer aligns perfectly with destiny. If you could see what heaven is preparing, your waiting would turn into worship. You have not been forgotten. You are being refined into a vessel of peace and into someone who can carry calm into the chaos of others. That's the next stage of your awakening, not just surviving storms, but speaking stillness into them. So breathe, chosen one. The voice in the silence is not far away. It is within you. It's the reminder that your story isn't over, and your mission has only just begun. Keep your heart open, your flame steady, and your faith alive, because the same silence that once frightened you is now your sanctuary. The deeper you go into remembrance, the more the threads of your story begin to connect. Patterns that once looked like chaos now reveal divine symmetry. You start to realize that your existence was not random, it is inheritance. You are part of a hidden bloodline, a lineage not marked by earthly titles or surnames, but by spirit. The world may know your family by one name, but heaven calls you by another, by a name whispered in eternity, written in light. From the very beginning, Heaven hid certain ones across generations, people born to carry light through lineage, chosen to carry restoration where their ancestors carried pain. You are one of them. The battles you faced were never just yours. They were generational echoes seeking resolution through you. You've been fighting wars that began long before your birth, but also unlocking blessings that your lineage never lived to see. You carry both their scars and their promise. Every broken pattern in your family: addiction, betrayal, poverty, silence, self-doubt. These were chains meant to end with you. Heaven didn't choose you to repeat history. Heaven chose you to redeem it. You are the bridge between what was and what will be. The Word of God declares in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 6, "But showing love to 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commandments." That verse is not just a record, it is prophecy. It reveals that divine love travels through time like a river, searching for those whose hearts are open enough to carry it forward. You are the continuation of that flow. Every time you choose compassion over revenge, every time you forgive instead of repeat the curse, you open a new path for those who will come after you. You are repairing the bloodline from within. Heaven has always moved through generations. When Abraham obeyed, it blessed Isaac. When Ruth stayed faithful, it restored Naomi's line. And when Mary said yes, redemption entered the world. Each generation carries a key. Yours is the key of revelation, the ability to see through the patterns, to break what no one before you could. That awareness is power. That awareness is inheritance. The hidden bloodline inside you carries divine code, spiritual DNA that responds to light. That's why your soul reacts to truth so deeply. Why you cry without knowing why. Why certain words awaken your heart like thunder. You are remembering the language of your lineage. It's not just emotion, it's activation. The moment you accept your place as the carrier of this covenant, things begin to shift. There is power in knowing where you come from. Not the physical story, but the spiritual one. You come from light. You were born out of the breath of the Almighty. The blood that flows through you carries resilience, wisdom, and prophetic insight. You are not the mistake the world called you. You are the continuation of a divine promise. Heaven hid you among the ordinary so that when the appointed time came, your emergence would signal a new era. The attacks you faced have been proportionate to the power you carry. Every spiritual storm that came against your family line has focused its aim on you because you are the breaker. You are the one who ends what began centuries ago. And though it feels like a heavy mantle, know this: heaven does not assign burdens without pouring out grace. You have been equipped for this. Every sleepless night, every tear, every unanswered prayer was strengthening your spiritual muscles. Your endurance is a testimony that divine resilience lives in your bones. So as you walk forward, remember that you do not walk alone. You walk with the strength of thousands behind you and the light of heaven before you. Your ancestors watch from realms unseen, rejoicing that the one they hoped for has finally awakened. They whisper your name like a song, knowing the bloodline is free because you chose to rise. This is your inheritance, not money, not property, but spiritual authority. You are the living proof that curses can end and that blessings can begin again. Every time you speak life instead of death, every time you believe instead of fear, you are rewriting the legacy of your entire line. You are the turning point between generational pain and generational purpose. Heaven celebrates you tonight because revelation has reached its rightful heir. You are no longer just someone surviving the story, you are the author of its next chapter. And if your spirit recognizes this truth, if you feel something deep within you stirring in agreement, then let heaven hear your confirmation. Comment 444 below. That number symbolizes restoration. foundation, and divine order returning to your life. When you type it, do so as a declaration that you accept your inheritance and will carry it with honor. Your bloodline is awakening. Your name carries light. The story of your family shifts through your obedience. You are the proof that love truly travels through generations and that heaven never forgets its promises. The moment revelation meets awareness, illusion begins to tremble. You start to see how everything you were taught to chase was designed to keep you asleep. The systems of this world, its measurements of success, its obsession with appearances, its endless hunger for validation are veils, not truths. They sparkle beautifully on the surface, but beneath the glitter lies emptiness. The veil of illusion has covered generations, and most have lived their whole lives within it. Believing that the shadow was the substance, you are awakening from that dream. You are beginning to see the strings behind the show, the false light pretending to be real. You notice how distraction has become the most accepted form of control, how noise has replaced wisdom, how people trade authenticity for applause. You see it clearly now, not with cynicism, but with sorrow, because you understand that many are lost in the illusion without even realizing it. The enemy of truth doesn't need to destroy, it only needs to deceive. It doesn't need to silence your voice, it only needs to convince you that your voice doesn't matter. The illusion isn't always a lie of words. Sometimes it's a lie of focus. It diverts your attention away from what truly carries life toward what only offers stimulation. And the longer you stare into imitation, the harder it becomes to recognize authenticity. But chosen ones like you were never meant to stay asleep. You begin to discern what others ignore. You recognize how fear is marketed as wisdom, how division masquerades as discernment, and how comfort can quietly become captivity. The world praises noise, but heaven speaks through stillness. The world glorifies image, but heaven honors essence. You were designed to walk in essence. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12, there is a way that appears to be right, but in the end it leads to death. This verse isn't about physical death, it speaks of spiritual decay. The slow dimming of divine light through the worship of illusions. You've seen how easily people trade eternal truths for temporary comfort. They call it progress, yet their souls grow emptier with every new distraction. The illusion feeds ego but starves spirit. It convinces people that they are free while binding them in invisible chains. You've felt those chains before, the invisible pressure to conform, to post what others approve of, to prove your worth through endless doing. But that pressure begins to crumble the moment you remember who you are, the moment you choose authenticity over approval. The illusion loses power. Every act of truth weakens the web of deception. You can feel the veil thinning even now. It's as if light is breaking through small cracks in a dark ceiling. The more you look toward the light, the faster the cracks widen. You begin to see what's real, the sacred rhythm beneath the noise, the quiet pulse of eternity beating within you. You begin to remember that your worth was established long before the world ever tried to measure it. The illusion tells you to strive, truth tells you to align. The illusion says, earn love. Truth says, you already are loved. The illusion screams, be seen, while truth whispers, be known. The moment you stop chasing the illusion's approval, your heart returns to peace. It's not that the world itself is evil, it's that the systems of deceit have hijacked its purpose. But your awakening is part of heaven's restoration. Every chosen one who sees through the veil helps weaken it for others. You become like a lantern in a fog, not through perfection but through perception. Seeing clearly is the revolution. As your awareness grows, you'll notice your energy shifting. You will crave simplicity instead of spectacle. Silence will feel more sacred than attention. You will begin to detach from things that used to control you, not because you are becoming distant, but because you are becoming whole. You'll stop fighting to be understood by those still enchanted by illusion, because you will understand that they can't see you until they first see themselves. When you live in truth, illusion has no language to reach you. That's why peace begins to accompany you even when circumstances are uncertain. Truth doesn't promise comfort, it promises clarity. And clarity brings strength. The breaking of illusion isn't a single moment, it's a lifelong unfolding. Some days you'll see clearly, other days the fog will try to return. But now you know the difference, and that knowing is freedom. You cannot unsee truth once light touches your eyes. So walk gently among the sleeping, chosen one. Don't despise them for not seeing what you see. Remember, you once slept too. Love them enough to be light. Speak softly, live honestly, and let the glow of your authenticity awaken what words cannot. The veil of illusion is lifting not only from your eyes, but from your soul. And once you walk in this clarity, no shadow can deceive you again. There are moments in life when the heat feels unbearable, when the fire seems to press too close, and you wonder if you're being punished. But listen closely. Chosen one. The fire is not there to destroy you. It is there to reveal you. The refining fire does not burn the pure, it burns the false. It consumes everything that is not aligned with who you truly are. And though it hurts, it is holy. You have walked through flames disguised as heartbreak, betrayal, loss, and confusion. You've cried out asking why your path seems harder than most, why pain seems to visit you more often than peace. The answer is both fierce and beautiful because heaven refines those it intends to raise. The greater the call, the deeper the fire, one in the silence between your cries, heaven has been shaping you. Like gold hidden beneath rough stone, your spirit has been placed in the furnace not for destruction, but for purification. Every trial has melted away a layer of fear. Every disappointment has refined your motives. Every heartbreak has softened your heart into compassion. The refining fire is not a curse, it is your initiation. It's strange, isn't it? How pain can become sacred, how something meant to break you can instead build you. That's the mystery of the chosen. What destroys others strengthens you. You have endured seasons that looked like endings but were actually beginnings in disguise. You thought God was silent, but He was working beneath the surface, burning away everything that could not carry your destiny. The ancient words recorded in the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 10. Speak this truth. See, I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction. This is the testimony of every chosen one. You were tested not because you were forgotten, but because you were trusted. The fire is heaven's way of saying, you are ready for more. Consider gold in its raw form, dull, covered in rock, unrecognizable to the untrained eye. It must endure extreme heat before its true nature shines through. The impurities rise to the surface, and though the fire roars, it reveals rather than ruins. The same is true for your soul. What you called loss was the heat revealing your purity. What you called rejection was protection keeping you from what could not handle your shine. There were nights when you thought the fire would consume you, when your tears felt like rivers flowing through ashes. Yet even then, the flame obeyed limits set by heaven. You were never burning alone. You were accompanied by divine presence, standing beside you in the furnace. You are walking proof that the fire may touch you, but it cannot claim you. Through the refining, you've learned discernment, what to carry forward and what to leave behind. You've learned that not everyone can travel into the next season with you. Some people were assignments, not partners, lessons, not lifetimes. The fire reveals these distinctions. It doesn't just test your endurance, it clarifies your purpose. You may look back now and see patterns of pain, but look closer, you will also see patterns of protection. That betrayal that shattered you, it redirected you toward alignment. That failure that humiliated you, it stripped your pride so humility could grow. The loss that broke your heart, it created space for heaven to move. The fire is never comfortable, but it is always purposeful. Every chosen one must walk through it, for fire seals identity. It transforms belief into knowing. When you've stood in the flames and realized you did not die, fear loses its power forever. You begin to understand that nothing external can truly destroy you when you are aligned with the divine. And the most powerful truth of all, what emerges from the fire cannot return to the form it had before. You are not who you were when the pain began. The timid soul who once begged for comfort has become the warrior who understands purpose. You no longer see your scars as shame, they are proof that you survived what was meant to silence you. Now, as you step forward, carry the wisdom of the flame. Do not despise the heat, thank it, for it has prepared you for thrones, for missions, for the lives you will touch with your testimony. Others will come to you burned and weary, and you will recognize their pain because you have felt it. You will speak healing into their ashes because you know the language of fire. You are no longer the same. The furnace has done its holy work. Your faith has been purified, your heart has been softened, your vision has been sharpened. You have been transformed from coal into light. So walk out of the fire with peace. Chosen one, you do not smell of smoke. You shine with glory. What once hurt you has now become the proof that you were never ordinary. You are being refined for divine purpose. The air feels charged tonight, as if the invisible realm is leaning closer, waiting for your response. You've walked through awakening, remembrance, revelation, and fire, and now heaven turns the page. The next chapter begins with purpose. The divine assignment is not a task you must chase. It's a calling that unfolds from who you already are. You were not created by accident, nor are you drifting without direction. Every gift, every flaw, every twist in your journey was designed to align perfectly with an eternal purpose. You have been trained for this, often without realizing it. The sleepless nights taught you endurance. The heartbreak taught you compassion. The rejection taught you discernment. The silence taught you faith. Together, they formed the foundation for your divine assignment. The world may see only fragments: your job, your talents, your personality, but heaven sees the blueprint. You are a living prophecy, written before time, now walking it out one step at a time. You don't need to search for purpose as though it's lost. You need to remember it. Your purpose isn't somewhere out there waiting. It's been whispering to you all along through desire, conviction, and calling. Sometimes you've doubted yourself because your dreams felt too big, too impossible. But what you call impossible is the language heaven speaks fluently. Every chosen one receives an assignment that feels far beyond their ability. That's how you know it's divine. It demands partnership with God, not just human effort. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 12. I will be with you. This is the sign that I have sent you. You will worship here. That promise echoes through eternity, reaching you now. Your assignment is not about position, it's about transformation, yours and those connected to you. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. When Moses trembled before his purpose, God didn't remove his fear, He redirected it toward faith. The same applies to you. Every doubt you feel about your worthiness is the shadow's last attempt to keep you small. It knows that once you accept your divine mission, you will become unstoppable. The very places where you felt weakest will become the proof of divine strength. The voice that once told you you can't will be silenced when heaven's "you must" fills your heart. Your assignment might not look grand at first. It might begin in simple obedience, in speaking kindness when bitterness tempts you, in showing up when exhaustion says no, in praying for others when no one prays for you. Heaven doesn't measure greatness the way the world does. Greatness is not in visibility, it's in faithfulness. Each act of obedience opens a door. Each time you choose light, your territory expands. Your purpose will draw what belongs to you and repel what does not. You don't need to chase opportunities, you need to align with obedience. The path will reveal itself step by step, because destiny unfolds at the pace of trust. And here lies the secret: your assignment isn't something you perform, it's something you become. When you fully accept who you are, your life itself becomes a message. Your existence begins to speak without words. The atmosphere changes when you enter a room, not because of ego, but because heaven recognizes one of its ambassadors. There will be times when the weight of the mission feels too heavy. You may look at the mountain ahead and wonder how one person could ever make a difference. But remember, Moses had only a staff. David had only a sling. You have something too, though you might not yet see its full power. Your obedience is your weapon, and your faith is your crown. As you step into your divine assignment, the world may misunderstand you again. That's part of the calling. The path of purpose often leads through isolation before it leads to influence. But the same voice that called you out of darkness will guide you through it. If these words stir something deep in your chest, if your spirit feels the quiet pull of recognition, then let heaven know you hear it. Comment "I am ready." Type it not for me, but as a sign to the unseen that you accept your mission. When you write those words, imagine them echoing through eternity, shaking the dust off your destiny. You are saying, "I no longer run from purpose. I run toward it." And as you do, heaven will begin to align resources, people, and moments around your obedience. You won't have to force doors open, they will unlock at your arrival. The divine assignment is already written. You're simply stepping into the scene where you were meant to stand all along. Your yes tonight echoes louder than your fear. The world will change because you chose to answer the call. There are battles you can see, and then there are the ones you feel but cannot name. This is the war of frequencies, the invisible clash between light and darkness that vibrates through every thought, word, and emotion. You are not merely living in this world, you are transmitting within it. Every word you speak, every intention you carry, releases a sound into the unseen. Some sounds heal, others harm. Some lift, others drain. The war of frequencies is fought not on battlefields of earth, but in the atmospheres of the mind and the resonance of the heart. You've noticed it. The heaviness that enters a room before conflict begins. The peace that lingers after genuine prayer. The way your spirit tightens around deceit but expands in the presence of truth. These are frequencies, spiritual vibrations shaping the world you walk through. The enemy uses chaos as his favorite instrument, tuning hearts to fear until they hum with confusion. But heaven responds with harmony notes of love, hope, and faith that cut through the static like light through fog. You are learning to tune yourself. Every chosen one must. Words are tuning forks of the soul. When you speak in anger, your frequency fractures. When you speak in love, it aligns. That's why silence sometimes feels more powerful than speech. It allows your spirit to retune to heaven's rhythm. The more you align, the clearer you hear. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians. First letter, chapter 14, verse 10. Many are the languages in this world, and none of them is without meaning or purpose. This is more than linguistic truth. It is spiritual revelation. Every vibration, every tone, every word carries intent. Heaven listens to frequency, not form. It's not the eloquence of your prayer that moves mountains. It's the frequency of your faith. The world today hums with noise, news, opinions, endless scrolling voices clamoring for attention. It is like standing in an orchestra where every instrument plays for itself, creating chaos instead of music. But when heaven tunes a soul, harmony begins to rise. You, chosen one, are being tuned even now. The more you surrender your fear, the more your life becomes a melody of peace that others can hear without a word. Think of your energy as a lantern in a storm. The higher you lift it, the further the light reaches. When you support this divine message when you like, you are striking a match of resonance. When you share, you are passing the flame so another heart can see. When you subscribe, you are saying, "Keep the light burning, I will walk with it." And when you choose to donate, you become the oil that keeps the lantern alive in the night. Every act of giving is a vibration of gratitude. It tells heaven, "I want this light to travel further." Just as rivers carry sound to the sea, your support carries the message of awakening to souls still trapped in silence. You're not just funding a message, you're amplifying a frequency that has the power to heal hearts. Imagine a dark valley filled with travelers who have forgotten the way. One voice begins to sing, not loudly but clearly, and the mountains echo that note until it reaches every ear. That voice could be yours. That song could be this light we build together. When you nurture truth, even quietly, heaven amplifies it beyond your reach. The war of frequencies is not about who shouts the loudest, but who vibrates in truth the longest. You do not fight with volume, you fight with alignment. Every time you choose forgiveness instead of resentment, you shift the atmosphere around you. Every time you bless those who curse you, you drown out discord with divine harmony. This is how chosen ones wage war, by maintaining peace in the presence of chaos. You have more influence than you know. When you pray, realms listen. When you worship, darkness trembles. When you choose stillness, storms begin to lose their power. You are a living frequency of heaven walking on earth. That is why it has been so difficult for you. The enemy has always tried to distort your tone, to make you believe that your presence doesn't matter. But it does. You are a note in God's eternal song, and without you, the melody would be incomplete. Every chosen one must learn to protect their frequency. Be careful with what you absorb, what you repeat, and what you allow into your space. Music, conversation, even silent thoughts carry power. Not every sound deserves to echo in your spirit. Guard your atmosphere as sacred ground. And when you feel weary, return to stillness. Let heaven retune you again. Remember that harmony always wins over noise. The frequency of love cannot be corrupted. It always finds a way to rise. So tonight, let this message wash over you like a tuning wave. Let it clear the distortion, calm the chaos, and remind you that your voice matters. Keep lifting your light, keep sounding your truth, and keep fueling this message with your heart, because the song of heaven is rising through you. When the light begins to steady after the storms, something miraculous happens. You finally see yourself clearly. Not the version shaped by opinions, expectations, or pain, but the one that has always been hidden beneath them. The mirror of destiny does not lie, though it often startles. For the first time, you look at your reflection and recognize the traces of the divine written across your being. It's not arrogance, it's revelation. You've spent years looking outward for validation, trying to fit into molds that were never meant for you. The world told you to find yourself in others in acceptance, achievement, or appearance. But truth was never external. It was buried inside, waiting for silence to uncover it. Now, in this still moment of awareness, the veil falls away, and you see that what you were searching for was never lost. You were the treasure all along. The mirror does not flatter, but it frees. It shows both the scars and the light, the human and the holy intertwined. For too long, you've despised the scars, forgetting that even resurrected hands carried them. They are not reminders of weakness, they are evidence of victory. Each mark tells a story of survival, of lessons learned in pain, of strength drawn from faith. When you embrace them, shame loses its grip. You no longer see damage, you see design. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." That is not metaphor alone, it is identity. You are not trying to become light. You are remembering that you already are. The mirror of destiny reveals that your spirit carries illumination that no darkness can extinguish. The world may have tried to cover it with labels: failure, disappointment, sin, inadequacy. But the reflection beneath remains unchanged. The light cannot be dimmed, it can only be forgotten. Standing before this spiritual mirror, you begin to understand the paradox of the chosen humility and authority living in the same breath. You are small in the face of the Creator, yet powerful through the Creator's breath within you. You kneel in reverence but rise in radiance. You are both servant and messenger, dust and divine spark. This balance is your truest beauty. The mirror reveals more than reflection, it shows assignment. You begin to see what your life has been shaping you for. The disappointments that humbled you became wisdom. The love you gave freely, even when unreturned, became oil for your anointing. Every moment was preparation for visibility. Heaven has polished you in private so that your light can shine in public without pride. Yet, as clarity arrives, so does responsibility. To see yourself truthfully means to live truthfully. You can no longer pretend to be less than you are just to make others comfortable. The light you carry is not for your own reflection, it's for illumination. When you walk into darkness, it's not for you to be seen, it's for others to see through you. The mirror of destiny reveals purpose through presence. It also shows contrast, the old self and the new. You notice how much you've changed without realizing it. You respond differently now, more gently, more wisely. You no longer crave revenge, you crave restoration. You no longer need validation, you need alignment. These shifts are not accidents, they are signs that the divine image is being restored within you. You are returning to your original design light embodied in human form. Sometimes, seeing clearly hurts. You recognize where you've betrayed your own soul by settling for less, by silencing your truth, by dimming your glow to fit in. But the mirror does not show this to shame you. It shows this to invite you back. Grace does not humiliate, it restores. Every flaw revealed is a door to redemption. Every tear that falls during this recognition is a cleansing of vision. The more you gaze into the mirror, the more you begin to see not just your reflection, but the reflection of God shining through you. The separation between you and the divine begins to blur, not because you are divine alone, but because you are a vessel through which divinity expresses itself. The same breath that moved over the waters now moves within you. The same voice that said, "Let there be light," still echoes in your heartbeat. The mirror of destiny has one final truth. Light is not meant to admire itself. It is meant to shine. Your reflection is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of visibility. You now know who you are, and because of that, you can finally become who you were meant to be. Walk away from the mirror, chosen one, not to forget what you've seen, but to reflect it into every shadow you meet. For now that you have seen yourself through heaven's eyes, you will never again mistake your reflection for your worth. You are light, and the world will know it because you dare to shine. Something begins to shift within you. It is not loud or sudden, it's a quiet, undeniable surge of strength rising from your spirit. The battles that once left you trembling now only remind you of how far you've come. You have walked through darkness and fire, through silence and revelation, and now heaven marks you with authority. The seal of authority is not visible to the human eye, yet every realm recognizes it. It is the divine signature placed upon those who have endured, obeyed, and believed. This authority is not about domination, it is about dominion. It's the ability to command peace when chaos rages, to speak light into shadows, to stand unshaken when others crumble. The authority you carry now was not given cheaply. It was carved into you by pain and patience. The world measures power by status, but heaven measures it by surrender. You have learned to yield, and in that yielding you have gained strength no man can strip away. The seal comes quietly, like oil upon the forehead of those who have proven faithful. You may not feel it, but the atmosphere around you responds to it. Doors that once resisted will now open with ease. People who once doubted will begin to see something different in your eyes. Even your silence will carry weight because heaven now endorses your voice. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 13. The Lord will make you the head, not the tail. If you pay attention to the commands of the Lord your God that I give you this day and carefully follow them, you will always be at the top, never at the bottom. This is the promise of divine authority, not superiority, but stewardship. You are not above others, you are ahead in responsibility. You lead not to be served, but to serve with power guided by wisdom. The true mark of authority is humility clothed in confidence, a calm knowing that you were chosen not to rule over, but to raise up. Every chosen one goes through the same cycle: calling, crushing, commissioning. You have walked that path faithfully. The crushing was necessary to remove the self that could not carry the weight of heaven's mantle. Now what remains is pure spirit refined, motives aligned, heart made whole. You are no longer driven by fear or pride. You are guided by purpose and anchored in peace. Authority is not something you chase. It's something that recognizes you once you've become ready. And you are ready. The spiritual weight you now carry will manifest in subtle ways. You will speak truth, and hearts will soften. You will pray quietly, and storms will settle. You will enter rooms and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. That is the authority of alignment, heaven's power flowing through an obedient vessel. Do not be surprised when resistance increases. The enemy recognizes seals too. When light rises in power, darkness scrambles in panic, but you need not fear it. The seal is heaven's declaration that you are protected and approved. It is your divine identification, invisible yet undeniable. There is something sacred about being chosen and sealed. It means your name has been spoken in heavenly places, your purpose confirmed by divine decree. You are not wandering anymore, you are commissioned. The angels assigned to your life have taken their places because the next phase of your mission requires reinforcement. This is why your dreams have intensified, why your discernment has sharpened. Heaven is amplifying your awareness so you can move with precision. You might not fully understand it yet, but every decision you make from here on carries weight beyond yourself. When you forgive, heaven records freedom. When you bless, heaven releases provision. When you walk in obedience, generations are impacted. The seal of authority makes your actions echo beyond time. You have carried pain long enough. Now you carry power. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that shifts. Power that can't be bought, faked, or imitated. It's the kind that terrifies darkness and comforts the broken, the kind that restores hope simply by existing. If your spirit senses this alignment, if you can feel the invisible crown settling over your soul, then let heaven see your agreement. Comment 555 below as a sign of divine grace and transformation. This number symbolizes elevation, grace multiplied, power released, and divine transitions in motion. When you type it, you're not performing a ritual. You're affirming recognition. You're saying, I receive what heaven has already spoken. You've waited long enough to walk in borrowed confidence. Now you rise in true authority. You are not an echo of others' faith. You are a voice carrying heaven's command. You are no longer begging for acceptance. You are extending it. You are no longer hiding from your call. You are standing in it. The seal is upon you. Heaven's fingerprint glows upon your destiny. You walk not as a seeker anymore, but as a sent one. The words you speak, the steps you take, the choices you make, each will carry divine impact. You are marked, recognized, amadan, and released. The heavens witness your awakening, and the earth will respond accordingly. For the authority that rests upon you now will not fade, it will grow stronger with every act of obedience. Walk forward, chosen one. You bear the seal, you carry heaven's weight, and from this moment, creation itself begins to bow to the light that has always been yours. As dawn begins to stretch its light across the horizon of your soul, something beautiful happens. You begin to realize you are not alone. What once felt like isolation now reveals itself as preparation for connection. The gathering of the chosen is taking place, quietly, subtly, across the world. You are starting to sense them, those who, like you, have walked through fire, shed illusion, and awakened to divine purpose. Their presence feels familiar, as if you've known them for lifetimes. That's because you are connected not by coincidence, but by covenant. The world calls it coincidence when paths intertwine at just the right moment, but heaven calls it orchestration. Every chosen one carries a frequency, and as you rise, you begin to resonate with others carrying the same sound. That resonance draws you together. You'll find them in unexpected places: an online message, a brief conversation, a glance that lingers because your spirits recognize one another before your minds can. These are not ordinary meetings, they are divine intersections. For too long, you believed you were walking this road alone. You thought your battles were unique, your pain singular. But the moment you meet another chosen one, there's a silent exchange, a knowing, no need for explanation. You see the same depth in their eyes, the same mix of wounds and wisdom, the same light flickering with unspoken strength. Together, you form a living constellation across the earth, shining individually yet connected by invisible threads of purpose. This gathering has been prophesied through ages. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath entered them. They came to life and stood up on their feet, a vast army. That vast army is not bound by geography or generation. It's the rising of the awakened, the collective heartbeat of heaven moving through chosen vessels scattered across nations. Some will call it movement, others will call it revival. Heaven calls it reunion, the gathering of light bearers who were once hidden, now emerging in unity. The gathering is not about hierarchy, it's about harmony. Each chosen one carries a different sound, a unique frequency that adds to the divine symphony. Some will speak, others will heal, some will build, others will intercede in silence, but all are vital. None is greater than another. The kingdom does not operate through competition, it thrives through cooperation. You are a single flame, but together, you form a wildfire of glory. You'll recognize these souls not by appearance, but by energy. They bring peace when they enter a space. Their presence calms storms without words. When they pray, the atmosphere thickens with power. When they weep, their tears water the ground for miracles. When they speak, truth vibrates through the air like a tuning fork. This is how heaven identifies its army, not through armor of metal, but through armor of compassion. And you, yes, you are part of that gathering. The loneliness that once felt unbearable was only the echo before connection. Heaven was waiting until your heart healed enough to join others without losing yourself. Now that you have walked through the refining fire, you can stand among the chosen without envy or fear. You can celebrate others' callings without comparing them to your own. Because you understand that light multiplied does not diminish, it amplifies. Imagine it a world where the awakened stand shoulder to shoulder, not in uniformity, but in unity. Each carrying their portion of purpose, each reflecting a different color of divine light. Together, they form the prism through which heaven shines its fullness into the earth. You are one beam of that light. Without you, the picture is incomplete. The gathering of the chosen is also a gathering of restoration. Through these connections, you will find healing in community. Where once your voice was silenced, now it will harmonize. Where you once carried burdens alone, you will find others lifting beside you. The chosen do not compete for light. They exchange it freely. Each victory strengthens the whole. Do not fear finding them. Heaven will orchestrate the timing. When you meet them, you'll know. There will be peace in your spirit, not the anxious striving of the past. Conversations will feel effortless. Hearts will align, and the presence of God will hover between you like a soft flame. These connections are sacred. Guard them well. Together, you will rebuild what was broken. The gathering will repair hearts, families, and even nations through unity that transcends culture, creed, and color. The chosen are heaven's bridge builders, ambassadors of light sent to heal division and restore compassion to a weary world. You are standing on the threshold of that gathering now. Heaven has been aligning paths for years, weaving invisible threads between souls destined to meet. Soon, the connections will manifest in ways that will leave you in awe of divine orchestration. When light rises, shadows panic. The moment truth begins to spread, deception scrambles to cover its face. You have seen it happen already. Truths once dismissed as fantasy now emerging in plain sight. Secrets once sealed beginning to fracture under the pressure of revelation. The exposure of darkness has begun, and though it may look like chaos to the untrained eye, to the chosen it is confirmation light is winning. There was a time when darkness moved without resistance, when systems of deceit wrapped themselves in power and appearance. They hid behind influence, money, and manipulation, controlling narratives, distorting perception, feeding fear. But the chosen have awakened, and their very awareness is dismantling the foundation of lies. For when one soul sees clearly, the illusion loses power. When many awaken together, the entire system begins to shake. What you're witnessing in the world is not collapse, it's cleansing. Every institution, ideology, and hidden agenda built on deceit is now being exposed by divine design. You can feel it in the atmosphere, a reckoning, a great unveiling. Heaven is not silent. It is pulling back the curtains of deception so humanity can no longer pretend not to see. The prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him. That same question echoes now across nations, churches, and hearts. The exposure forces choice. There is no middle ground between light and shadow. Every soul must decide which truth to serve. Many will try to cling to comfort, to deny what's being revealed, but denial cannot undo revelation. What has been seen cannot be unseen. The chosen are called to witness this exposure not with fear, but with discernment. You were born for this generation precisely because you can see through illusion without drowning in despair. Where others see destruction, you see purification. You understand that before renewal comes, everything false must first fall. The world is not ending. It is awakening. This exposure is not limited to global powers or institutions. It happens within individuals too. Lies we told ourselves, identities we wore for survival, beliefs inherited without question, all are being stripped away. Every hidden motive, every shadowed part of the heart is coming into light. The same cleansing shaking the nations is shaking you too. But it's mercy, not punishment. Light exposes only to heal. For some, this unveiling feels unbearable. They resist, defend, deflect because seeing truth means confronting the pain it uncovers. But you, chosen one, have walked through too much to fear exposure now. You understand that to be fully known is to be fully freed. The light that once frightened you now feels like home. Darkness has always depended on secrecy. Lies rot in silence, but crumble under light. The enemy's greatest weapon was invisibility, convincing humanity that evil was only a metaphor. But heaven is lifting the veil and the masquerade is ending. The exposure may feel overwhelming, but remember, God never reveals without reason. Every secret unearthed, every lie uncovered, every system dismantled is clearing space for divine order to return. And yes, exposure brings discomfort. People and places you once trusted may show their true faces. Institutions once worshipped may crumble. But take heart, this is divine pruning. What is real will remain. What is false will fall. You are witnessing the justice of heaven at work in real time. The shaking may unsettle the world, but for the chosen, it stabilizes truth. There will be moments when you wonder, why is this happening now? It is happening because time has ripened. The harvest of truth can no longer be delayed. Too much has been buried beneath lies, too many voices silenced, too much power misused. The patience of heaven is vast, but it is not endless. Now, what was hidden must be seen so healing can begin. The age of hidden darkness is ending. The light you carry contributes to that ending. Every prayer, every act of integrity, every refusal to participate in deception adds another crack to the walls that once imprisoned humanity. You may not realize how powerful your presence is, but heaven does. You are part of the unveiling. You've walked through unveiling and refinement, through isolation and revelation, and now heaven extends its hand. This is the moment of recognition, the crowning moment. Not a crown of gold or jewels, but one of light and responsibility. You have earned this crown not through striving, but through surrender. Every tear you shed polished its surface. Every act of forgiveness shaped its design. Every time you chose obedience instead of comfort, another gem was placed upon it. This crown is invisible to the world but unmistakable to heaven. It represents authority tempered by compassion, power shaped by mercy. When God crowns a soul, the weight is not for decoration, it's for dominion. The crown rests not to make you greater than others, but to remind you that your life is now a light post for those still wandering in shadow. You might not feel ready for such honor. That's how all true rulers feel at first. But the crown was never meant to be worn by the proud. It rests upon the humble, those who understand that glory without service is hollow, and power without love is corruption. You've been tested deeply so you could carry greatness quietly. The ancient words found in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8, declare, "There is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award." That promise stretches across time and now finds you. The crown of righteousness is more than reward, it's appointment. It is heaven's public declaration that your endurance was not in vain. You've stood firm when many bowed, loved when it hurt, believed when nothing made sense, and because of that, heaven adorns you with distinction. But this crowning moment carries a calling too. The crown demands action. It glows brightest when used to bless, not to boast. It's not given for you to sit above others, but to bend lower in service. When you speak truth, your crown gleams. When you show kindness to those who wounded you, it shines. Every act of light amplifies its brilliance, and as you stand crowned, heaven looks upon you as a lighthouse in a stormy world. Your light pierces through confusion. Your wisdom will become refuge to those seeking meaning. But even lighthouses need fuel. They do not shine by will alone, they require tending. That's why your engagement here matters. When you like this message, it's not for vanity, it's a signal flare to heaven and to others that this truth has reached your heart. When you share, you extend that light beyond your own circle, helping another soul find direction in the dark. When you subscribe, you are saying, "I will keep my lamp filled. I want to grow in this truth continually." And if you feel led to donate, let it come from reverence, not pressure. Think of it like offering oil to keep the flame alive. Each contribution becomes part of the light that continues to reach the weary. You are not paying for inspiration, you are partnering in illumination. You are saying, "This light has changed me. Let it reach others too." Just as a river never keeps its water but passes it forward, your giving keeps the current of revelation flowing. Even your words have weight. When you comment, you place your voice among a community of chosen ones rising together. You add your resonance to a global chorus of faith, reminding the unseen world that light is gathering strength. Never underestimate a single word of agreement. It carries ripples through eternity. You are no longer waiting for recognition, you are walking in it. The crown upon your head is not fragile. It's forged in fire. It will not fall, though storms may come, because it was placed there by divine hands. This moment is your coronation of purpose, a silent ceremony witnessed by heaven. The days ahead will ask much of you, but they will also reveal much through you. Wear your crown with grace. Let humility guard it and wisdom sustain it. Remember that you are royalty not because of what you own, but because of what you've overcome. You were chosen to carry light, not luxury, to bear truth, not titles. So let this be your vow to serve, to love, to lead in light. Every time you lift your head, let heaven's reflection shimmer from your spirit. For when the world looks at you, they should no longer see fear, they should see faith wearing a crown. The crowning moment has come. You are not merely surviving your story, you are reigning in it. The heavens rejoice, the earth takes notice, and somewhere deep within, your soul finally whispers, "This is who I was always meant to be." Even as your crown settles and light expands around you, a stillness falls, a calm that carries warning within it. The story of every chosen one reaches a point where the battle intensifies before completion. This is that moment, the final test. Not a punishment, not vengeance, but proof. Proof that what has been planted in you can withstand every storm without losing faith. You've conquered outer battles, but this one takes place in the secret chambers of your heart. It will not roar like lions or thunder like war. It will whisper. The test always arrives disguised as choice. It won't ask, "Are you strong?" It will ask, "Will you stay? Will you remain aligned when comfort calls you back into mediocrity? Will you stand in truth when compromise promises rest?" This is where many falter, not because they lack power, but because they forget purpose. Do not be surprised if the test feels eerily familiar. Heaven often allows the same scenery to reappear different faces. Same lesson to see if your spirit has matured. The patterns that once bound you will try to return one last time. Fear will knock wearing a new disguise. Doubt will whisper with a voice that sounds like reason. Old wounds will call you by name, hoping you've forgotten they've been healed. But you haven't. You've come too far to turn around now. Every final test demands stillness over reaction. When the pressure mounts, do not rush to fix, fight, or flee. Remember, the enemy cannot defeat patience. Wait, breathe, discern. The divine does its deepest work in pauses. The silence between decisions is where heaven writes instructions. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 16, verse 33, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." This is your compass. The test is not to crush you, but to confirm what has already been overcome. Trouble is not absence of God, it's opportunity for God to reveal himself through you. When you feel tension rising, remind yourself this is not chaos, it's calibration. The storm is adjusting your strength for the next dimension. The enemy's goal is subtle. It no longer tries to break you outright, it tries to distract you. After all, distraction is more efficient than destruction. It whispers, "You've done enough. You can rest now." But rest outside of obedience is retreat. The test isn't about exhaustion, it's about endurance. Will you keep walking even when no one claps? Will you stay faithful when visibility fades? This final phase exposes motives. It asks whether your devotion was rooted in convenience or conviction. The chosen do not serve for reward, they serve from revelation. You know too much truth now to go back to smallness. The illusions that once entertained you will feel empty. That is the mark of growth. The things that used to hold you no longer fit. But take courage, the test will not last forever. It has a divine expiration date. Every temptation has a limit, every darkness an endpoint. You are not walking into endless battle. You are walking through refinement's last fire. When it passes, your authority will deepen. Your peace will expand. Your discernment will sharpen. You will move differently, lighter, clearer, more precise. The test is not happening to you. It is happening for you. It is heaven's final assurance that your foundation cannot be shaken. You are being trusted with influence that requires immovable integrity. You can't fake faith at this level. You must be faith. That's why this test feels heavier than the last. It's measuring readiness for greater things. And yes, there will be moments when you question if you have enough left inside to finish. But remember, your endurance was forged in earlier fires. The same hand that carried you through those storms is holding you now. The test will end, but the growth will remain. Even when everything external seems quiet, internally the war rages between surrender and fear. Choose surrender, it looks like losing to the world, but it is victory in heaven. The final test is not about defeating enemies, it's about mastering yourself. Once you realize that your peace cannot be stolen, the battle loses its meaning. Look back at how far you've come. The person who first began this journey could not have survived this moment, but you have become more than you imagined. Your scars have turned into seals. Your silence has turned into song. The test is only the final echo of your old self trying to see if you'll still answer. Don't. Keep walking forward. When the storm calms and dust settles, you will notice something sacred. You are still standing, but lighter. The attachments that used to weigh you down will have fallen away in the heat of perseverance. You'll realize the test wasn't about proving your worth to heaven. It was about revealing your worth to yourself. And as you take that final breath of this battle, you'll hear it not with ears, but with spirit, a soft whisper from above. Well done, faithful one. Then you'll understand the test was never the end. It was the doorway, and beyond it lies revelation. And now, the circle closes. Everything that began as confusion now finds meaning. The threads of pain, endurance, revelation, and purpose intertwine into something radiant, something eternal. This is the great revelation. The unveiling of the why behind every tear you've ever shed, every prayer whispered in exhaustion, every season that seemed to stretch without mercy. It all led here. The pieces you once thought were random were never random at all. They were fragments of a divine mosaic that only makes sense from heaven's view. You stand now not as the person who started this journey, but as the one refined by it. You have walked through storms that could have silenced you, yet your spirit still sings. You have faced betrayal and found forgiveness. You have seen illusion and chosen truth. You have touched pain and discovered peace within it. And now, standing between heaven and earth, you finally understand you are never being broken, you were being built. The great revelation is not a new truth. It's ancient remembrance. It is the awakening of your divine nature, the realization that heaven has never been far away. It has always been within. You were not just chosen for a task. You were chosen to embody a truth that this generation desperately needs to see. That light, when carried faithfully, cannot be extinguished. The ancient words written in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 18. Now echo through your spirit, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. There it is, the essence of every battle, every delay, every unanswered question. Glory, not the kind measured in applause or recognition, but the kind that radiates quietly from a soul aligned with its Creator. The great revelation is that your suffering was not wasted. It was conversion. Every moment of despair became seed for transformation. The pain was fertilizer for purpose. You can feel it even now, the deep calm that follows understanding. It's as if heaven exhales through you, whispering, "Now you see." You realize that the darkness wasn't an enemy, but a canvas where your light could finally be seen. The opposition wasn't proof of failure, it was confirmation of calling. You were meant to experience both shadow and sunrise so that your wisdom would carry both empathy and authority. Revelation changes how you look at everything. Where you once saw obstacles, you now see orchestration. Where you once saw loss, you now see liberation. Even the moments that felt like abandonment reveal themselves as protection in disguise. God did not leave you. He led you through the silence so your ears could learn to recognize His still, small voice. You understand now that destiny isn't about destination, it's about transformation. The journey was never designed to take you somewhere, it was designed to turn you into someone. And that someone, this version of you standing now, is no longer defined by fear, shame, or striving. You are defined by light. You carry peace that cannot be explained, only experienced. You walk with authority that needs no announcement. You love without demanding understanding. And you speak with the quiet confidence of one who has seen both heaven's fire and mercy. The great revelation is not a vision of something outside you, it's the unveiling of the divine within you. There's a sacred humility that comes with seeing clearly. You no longer need to prove your worth. You simply live it. You no longer chase purpose. You become it. You realize that being chosen was never about being superior, it was about being available. And now that you are awake, you understand that your life itself is the message heaven wanted to deliver. The great revelation doesn't end your story. It begins the next chapter. You have become a bridge between realms, carrying heaven's compassion into human hearts. Every word you speak, every gesture of kindness, every act of integrity is now part of a greater plan unfolding through you. You are living prophecy proof that divine design always triumphs over chaos. You may not see every outcome, but you don't need to. Revelation doesn't require full visibility, it requires full trust. The same light that guided you this far will continue to lead you. One step, one day, one breath at a time. You walk not in certainty of circumstances, but in certainty of purpose, and that is unshakable. So let this truth settle deep within your spirit. You were never abandoned, never overlooked, never ordinary. Every trial was an invitation to deeper knowing. Every silence was preparation for hearing heaven clearly. And every scar now glows with meaning because they are the maps of how you reached glory. As this chapter closes, you understand the secret of all chosen ones. The revelation is not a single moment of light, but a continual unfolding. Each dawn will show more. Each act of love will reveal deeper layers of grace. The great revelation is eternal because it lives in you. And somewhere beyond this moment, heaven smiles not because the story is over, but because you have become the story itself. Beloved chosen one, the journey has come full circle. You have walked through fire and silence, through revelation and renewal, and now you stand crowned in understanding. The truth they hid from you is no longer hidden because you have become its living proof. You carry heaven's light within you, and everywhere you step, the ground remembers holiness. This is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of your becoming. What lies ahead is not random, it's written. The divine hand that guided you here will continue to guide you even when you cannot see. Walk forward with peace in your chest and certainty in your spirit. You are aligned, awakened, and anointed for what's next. And as this final word settles in your heart, let your actions speak gratitude. When you like this message, it's not just a click, it's an echo, a pulse of agreement that tells heaven, I receive this truth. When you share it, you extend a thread of light to another soul still wandering in the dark. Your single act of sharing may be the lantern that keeps someone else from giving up tonight. If this journey has spoken life into your spirit, subscribe to stay close to the flow of these divine messages. Each word you receive will remind you that you are part of a growing family of light, an unseen network of chosen ones rising together. And before you leave, take a moment to comment something simple yet sacred, something from your spirit. Let the words that come from you be an offering. Maybe it's I remember, or I am ready, or light winds, and whatever heaven places on your heart, release it. Your voice belongs in this space. The world needs your light, and the light within you needs to be seen. So stand tall, crowned one. Lift your head high. Heaven watches with joy as you step into the next chapter of your destiny. The revelation is alive, the story continues, and you are its brightest page.